podcast. Thanks for taking the time today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So obviously from the very beginning, Robyn's addiction issues have been a big part of this show. So how do you feel like the show kind of deals with not just addiction itself, but the fallout of that and what it can do to the people around you as well?
Well, it really goes to show that, you know, it's an illness, and it's not one that people can, I mean, almost never get control of just out of sheer willpower. And unfortunately, it is one of those illnesses that has terrible fallout for the people around the person who is ultimately being driven by something that is destroying them, but that feels like the most important thing in the world, you know. And it's complicated and it's sad, but also one of the things that I like about how we tackle it in the show is that you don't just have everyone in her life automatically forgiving her and going, oh, it's okay, you know, because that's not real, you know. And people living with loved ones who have severe issues in that arena, you know, love isn't always telling someone it's okay, I forgive you. Sometimes love is, you know, telling them they need to pack their bags and leave. And we do see her struggling with that, and the behaviors that, look, are not, I'm not going to blame them entirely on addiction, but a general level of self-destructiveness as a person, and mental ill health as a person, and how much of a tornado that actually creates, both for herself and for the people who are trying to love her.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Anna, RC Samo from Fanboy Nation. I congratulated your husband on your 11-year diamond anniversary, because that's diamond in Hollywood marriage years. So I will do the same for you as well.
Oh, is it diamond? Ooh, fancy.
Well, I mean, 11 years in Hollywood, that's, you know, 75 in regular people years. So
yes. In Hollywood years, we've been married for 3 lifetimes.
Right. But with this series, the evolution of the characters and the flow, and to see your character, Robyn's character, go from, you know, being able to put on and being a functioning addict to now coming through the descent and no longer being able to fully be at the level that she was. Yet there are still not only the dramatic moments, but the humorous moments. How important was it to have those lighter moments in this? Because, you know, if this was a French show, it'd just be complete descent all the way through, and we'd be miserable by the final episode.
Yeah, you know, part of the DNA of the show is that humor is as integral to the storyline as drama, salacious, gossipy, fun stuff, and darker themes like the addiction and mental health stuff. And I mean, for me, in real life, I know humor is how I move through difficult situations. And I think sort of as an audience, that's how we are sort of guiding people through this world. And then also that just because somebody is going through a lot of nasty stuff in their personal life, it doesn't mean that the world stops being funny sometimes. And it doesn't completely stop her from being, you know, being the person that she is. And she, you know, is someone who has a sense of humor, and there is that aspect to her as well. And I love that in this we haven't kind of just picked between one or the other, because I feel like that gets done often too, where, you know, once there's serious issues involved, nothing's allowed to be funny. And I just don't feel like that reflects life. And so, yeah, that's very important to me.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Monica with Temple of Geek. My question for you is, Robyn is filled with so much regret and hurt, but she also has a lot of love for people, and, you know, she cares about people deeply. It's not just all bad. Do you think that there is a part of her that you think shines more than the other person?
Sorry, say that again. That shines?
Is there a part of her personality that you think shines more than other things?
You know, ultimately, she's not setting out to do bad. she wants to be good at her job. Being good at her job sometimes means doing things that are quite morally reprehensible, but she wants to take care of her sister and shelter her and protect her, but her sister's grown up, and sometimes that's patronizing and inappropriate, and also just downright cruel, you know, to try and, you know, it doesn't all come from a bad place, but, you know, it's the thing of intent versus impact. And also she has her own demons, obviously, that she's struggling with. So on a day-to-day basis, she, you know, she's may not be setting out to do harm, but chaos kind of follows her wherever she goes, mostly because, you know, and I think this is something a lot of people can relate to, that if you don't ever actually deal with your own issues, whatever they may be, they don't go away, they just bubble up somewhere else, you know. So she's an addict, and be that of substances or her job, or in this season, you know, she's kind of become like uber like AA, NA, exercise, clean, like, but all in but still be doing it like an addict, because she hasn't actually really done any, I mean, I know this sounds, you know, whatever, but she hasn't worked on herself. She hasn't actually processed whatever it is that is really wrong with her, because all of those things are coping mechanisms that are, you know, unhealthy, and that have a, you know, there's a ticking clock on all of that. And I think that's, I don't know, that feels very real to me. It's like wherever you go, there you are. She takes her problems with her, and just, you know, sometimes she's doing a better job of covering it up.
Thank you for that.
Nadia Woods Cup of Soul show. My question to you is, do you feel because she is in this high pressure job with people that, you know, she has to maneuver some things that are just over the top and out of the realm of everyday life, that she feels that her addiction helps her to relate and to be able to do her job? Because maybe if she has to face these issues sober and clean, she might not be able to.
Yeah, I think that definitely factors in, that there are, you know, I mean, even just the hours she keeps of having to constantly be on all the time, and, you know, have look put together and be put together and fix other people's messes. And that, yeah, that the moral line that gets blurred a lot, I think medicating your feelings around that, I think certainly is part of how she has become so good at that. And that's become a very unhealthy way that she's been very good at her job. And it's one of those things where she's gotten a lot of positive reinforcement for the results she gets, that it's not till sort of things really get bad that the people around her start questioning, but why are you able to do all this stuff? And maybe this isn't actually really a good thing after all. You know, it's like Caroline's kind of created her in her image as this turbo, you know, hard-nosed publicist, but at what expense? You know, yeah, that's a really interesting question. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And I kind of really love the dynamic between Robyn and Eve, not just this season, but last season as well. But of course, at the end of season 1, we saw what happened with Tom and everything. So that seems a bit up in the air. But at the same time, I don't feel like their relationship, whether you call it a friendship or professional, is like conventional in almost any way. So how do you think what happened at the end of this season is going to affect that dynamic carrying into season 2 for those who haven't seen it, of course?
Yeah, you know, without giving too much away for people who haven't seen season 1, there's a really large betrayal of trust between Eve and Robyn that isn't really out of character, but actually is, because she and Eve actually are incredibly close, and they're so different yet so kind of flip sides of the same coin. And it's her relationships with the women and her friends in her life are actually the primary relationships. Her boyfriend, who's at home and is kind of kept in the dark about a lot of stuff and doesn't really know a lot of what she does out in the world, is in some very real way not her primary relationship. So it's kind of like somewhere between sort of a sister and like almost an intimate relationship that she has with Eve, as far as when she does the thing at the end of season 1. It's not really about the third party involved. It really is about that like massive break in their relationship. And, you know, she is going to have to work very, very hard to earn back the trust, earn back any level of civilized, you know, interaction, and maybe trust. And she is trying, but, you know, things get complicated.
Last quick question, please.
Real quick, Anna, I know, you know, the show has its intense moments and its humorous moments, as we mentioned before, and the evolution of the characters. Trust within the series and the characters themselves, you know, how hard will it be for when season 3 premieres, since we're still waiting on season 2 for those that haven't seen it yet, to regain those things for Robyn, because she's broken so many people's trust along the way?
I mean, God, that's really complicated. You know, I think like in real life, it's messy and it's not a straight line through from bad behavior to forgiveness. And everybody is going to have their own way of reacting to her behavior, and will have their own needs as far as what she needs to do to potentially prove that she can be trusted again. And like real life, it's incredibly complicated and it's really messy. And she's trying, but she's still a really damaged person. And it just, you know, doesn't really work out as she's sort of, as she's hoping, you know, because she's still trying to fix the surface of everything. She's not really diving deep and trying to really repair. She's trying to just be like, no, we can fix it. It'll be fine. Like I'll stop doing this. I'll stop doing that, you know. And that's not real growth. That's a facade, which she knows way too much about.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.